Hello all, this is Sandeep Kumar and I welcome you all to my YouTube channel Concepts of IIT Maths. So your destination channel for all IIT and CBSE related chapters, concepts and at the same time their problems and solutions. We are in the chapter of quadratic equations and we have completed all the concepts including their examples, and we have also discussed about previous year questions. So we have discussed about the previous year questions up to 2018 and then 2019 and then 2020 in the previous videos. So in this today's video, we'll look into the previous year questions of JEE Mains 2021 March papers, March shift. So on 16th, 17th and 18th of March this year, they have conducted JEE Mains exam. Total 6 different shifts were there. That means 6 different papers. In each paper you can find at least one question based on quadratic equations, right? So we have collected those questions and we are going to discuss those questions in today's class, in today's video. So you make sure that you're watching the video till end, and if you have not yet subscribed the channel, please do subscribe it. So let us continue. Let us start with the first question. So here is our first question. The number of elements in the set X belongs to R such that mod x minus 3 into mod of x plus 4 equal to 6 is equal to. How many elements are there in this set? They are asking. How many elements means the number of solutions. The number of solutions. Indirectly he is asking the number of solutions of this equation. So this is clearly an equation containing absolute values. So you can go to the concept of equation containing absolute values in the playlist of quadratic equations in our channel. If you want, you can go through that video after this this video is completed. So anyhow, let us solve this based on the equations containing absolute values. So indirectly they are asking how many number of elements are there, how many number of solutions are there for this equation, right? In order to find the number of solutions, first of all take mod x and then mod of x plus 4. So these two are the functions containing modulus side, correct? So let us take the zeros of these two polynomials, zeros of x and x plus 4 on the number line. So the 0 of x plus 4 is minus 4 and the 0 of x is 0. Now we have to divide the solution into 3 cases. The first case containing minus infinity to minus 4. That means, so first of all, if x is less than minus 4, then what are the possible solutions? Next, the second case where x is between minus 4 and 0, and the third case where x is greater than 0. We are dividing the solution into 3 different cases. So first of all, in case 1, so I will take x less than minus 4. So please understand that if x is less than minus 4, then what happens to the equation? Mod x minus 3 into mod of x plus 4 is equal to 6. Since x is less than minus 4, take any number less than minus 4. For example, minus 5. If x is minus 5, x is negative. If x is negative and if I remove modulus, it will change its sign. It will become minus x. Important. Here again, if x is less than minus 4, then what happens? For example, x is minus 5. Then x plus 4 is how much? Minus 5 plus 4 is minus 1. Again negative value. Again negative value, which means if I remove modulus, x plus 4 will become minus of x plus 4. Okay, now so if I have to remove modulus, and whenever I remove modulus, what happens? Since x is negative, it becomes minus x, and since x plus 4 is also negative, if I remove modulus, minus of x plus 4. And take this minus and give it to this two terms. So minus into minus plus x, minus into minus plus 3 into x plus 4 equal to 6. So expand LHS, you get x square plus 7x plus 12 and take 6 left side. So here we got a quadratic equation, x square plus 7x plus 6 equal to 0, whose roots are x is equal to minus 1 comma minus 6. But can I accept both the roots? Can I accept both the solutions? Once again, x must be less than minus 4. So x cannot be minus 1 because it is not less than minus 4. Therefore, the only possible accepted solution from case 1 is x is equal to minus 6. So case 1 will give you one solution. Okay, now so x is equal to minus 6 is an element in this set. Okay, now it is an element in this set. So now let us go to case 2. So in case 2, x is greater than or equal to minus 4 but less than 0. Okay. So remember that I got one solution. So the set is set of -6 comma. Remember, right? So from case 1 I got one solution. Let us go to case 2. So in case 2, x is greater than or equal to -4 but less than 0. You take any number between -4 and 0. For example, -3. So x is -3. So x is negative. And what about x plus 4? What about x plus 4? Since x is -3, for example, -3 plus 4 is 1. So x plus 4 is positive. So therefore, dear students, mod x is written as -x. Mod x is written as -x because x is negative. -3. And here, if I remove modulus, since x plus 4 is positive, there is no need to change any sign. So if I remove modulus, x plus 4 will be x plus 4 only because x plus 4 is positive. So understand that if x is negative, then mod x is equal to -x and mod of x plus 4 is equal to x plus 4 only. Since x is negative, if I remove modulus, I have to change the sign. And here, since x plus 4 is positive, if I remove modulus, no need to change the sign. So that is why you will get this. It is equal to 6. If you understand this one particular step, then the entire solution is easy. So you can take minus outside, and this is x plus 3 into x plus 4 equal to 6. So minus of, multiply these two and take minus of this entire thing right side, then you'll get 0 is equal to 6 plus x square plus 7x plus 6. So which will give you x square plus 7x plus 12 equal to 0. X square plus 7x plus 12 equal to 0. A small correction. 3 4s are 12 here. So x square plus 7x plus 18 equal to 0. And observe that for this quadratic equation, discriminant, if you find delta, b square minus 4ac. So b square minus 4 into a into c. So what do you get? 49 minus 72, right? So that means less than 0. Discriminant is less than 0, no real solution. Therefore, this quadratic equation has no real solutions. So which means, dear students, from case 2 I am not getting any solution. From case 2 I am not having any solutions. Let us go to case 3. So we'll go to case 3. So in case 3, that means when x is greater than or equal to 0. If x is greater than or equal to 0, then x is positive or equal to 0. It's non-negative now. So mod x is equal to x and mod of x plus 4. Take any value which is greater than or equal to 0. For example, x is equal to 1. So x plus 4 means 1 plus 4, which is 5. It is positive. So understand that whenever x is greater than or equal to 0, the thing inside the modulus is positive. So if I remove modulus, the same thing will come outside without any sign change. Okay, na? So now the equation becomes mod x means x minus 3 into mod of x plus 4 means x plus 4 only equal to 6. Expand it. You get x square plus x minus 12 and take 6 left side minus 6 equal to 0. So which means x square plus x minus 18 equal to 0. It cannot be factorized. I mean the middle term cannot be splitted. So let us use quadratic formula. And if you use quadratic formula, x is equal to minus b plus or minus root over b square minus 4 into a into c whole divided by 2 into a. So x is equal to minus 1 plus or minus under root, you will get 73 by 2. So therefore the two roots are minus 1 plus root 73 by 2 and minus 1 minus root 73 by 2. So observe that I should consider that solution which is greater than or equal to 0. So this root 73 minus 1 by 2 is positive and this is negative. So you should not take this solution and I can take this solution. So one more solution in the under this set is root 73 minus 1 by 2. So these are the two elements coming under this set, and he is asking the number of elements in the set. So there are 2 elements. The number of elements is 2. So second option is correct option. If you need more examples based on these kind of questions, then you go to the concept called equations containing absolute values. You can find this concept in the playlist of quadratic equations in our channel. Okay, now go to the playlist of quadratic equations, find the concept called the equations containing absolute values, and find these kind of questions. Have a nice practice after this video. So let us continue with our next question. Our second question, let p of x is equal to x square plus bx plus c be a quadratic polynomial with real coefficients. Okay, a quadratic polynomial where the coefficients are real numbers, such that integral 0 to 1 p of x dx equal to 1. So you should have basics of integration, definite integration, and p of x leaves remainder 5 when it is divided by x minus 2. P of x leaves remainder 5 when it is divided by x minus 2. Then the value of 9 times b plus c. So you are supposed to use these two clues, and you are supposed to find out the quadratic equation and after the quadratic polynomial, and then you should find the value of 9 times b plus c. But it is basically very easy. Okay, now so first of all, let us find what is integral 0 to 1 p of x dx equal to 1. Let us solve this. So integral 0 to 1 p of x is x square plus bx plus c into dx as it is equal to 1. So first of all, let us integrate all these three terms. Integral x square is x cube by 3 plus b into integral x is x square by 2 plus c into integral of 1. Nothing, no number means 1. Integral 1 is x with 0 to 1, lower bound and upper bound numbers, equal to 1. First let us substitute 1 in all these places. Then you will get 1 cube by 3 is 1 by 3 plus b into 1 square by 2, so b by 2 plus c into 1 minus of, then you can substitute 0. So when you substitute 0, all three terms are 0 only, na? 0 by 3 plus b into 0 by 2 plus 0 c into 0 equal to 1. So this entire thing can be ignored. Therefore I will get b by 2 plus c equal to 1 minus 1 by 3. 1 minus 1 by 3 is 2 by 3. So this is our first equation containing b and c's. And after that, let us take this concept. What is the meaning of it? P of x leaves a remainder 5 when it is divided by x minus 2. Actually, by remainder theorem, who is the remainder? If p of x is divided by x minus 2, if p of x is divided by x minus 2, then the remainder is actually equal to p of 2 using remainder theorem, and they told that the remainder is equal to 5. So p of 2 is equal to 5. So in the polynomial you can take p of 2. If you take p of 2, what do you get? 2 square plus b into 2 plus c equal to 5. So from this you will get 2b plus c is equal to 1. The second equation. Solving 1 and 2, you will get the values of b and c, and then you can find what is 9 times b plus c. Easier, right? So if you can subtract equation 1 and 2. Thus the first equation is b by 2 plus c equal to 2 by 3. I can subtract by changing the signs below. 2b minus b by 2 is 3b by 2 plus c minus c will get cancelled. 1 minus 2 by 3 is 1 by 3. So b is equal to 2 by 9. So since b is equal to 2 by 9, you can substitute, for example, in second equation, and then you can get c. In second equation, if you substitute b as 2 by 9, you get 4 by 9 plus c is 1. So c is equal to 5 by 9. B is 2 by 9, c is 5 by 9. And he is asking what is 9 times b plus c. So what is 9 times b plus c then? So therefore 9 times b plus c. That means 9 times b plus c means 2 by 9 plus 5 by 9. The answer is 7. Right? So option is 3, the third option. So I hope you felt this easy. If you have the basics of definite integration and this remainder theorem, you can easily solve it. We will discuss remainder theorem in the chapter of theory of equations. So next, we'll go to the third question. Our next question, which actually comes under surds, but not surds, actually it comes under equations which can be converted as quadratic equations. Equations reducible to quadratic equations. Okay, now so this is a concept that we have discussed in the quadratic equations chapter. You can go to the playlist of quadratic equations. There you can find the concept called equations reducible to quadratic, and then you can go through it after this video. Anyhow, let us continue. Let us imagine that the required question is equal to y. The required thing is equal to y. Whenever you find these kind of repeated things, okay, now up to infinity, you can take like this. 4 plus 1 by 5 plus 1 by 4 plus 1 by 5 plus 1 by, same thing is repeating itself. So whenever these kind of things are coming, we can equate it to y. And then I'll write the question again. What is it? 4 plus 1 by 5 plus 1 by, and this entire thing is nothing but our question again. 4 plus 1 by 5 plus 1 by 4 plus 1 by. This entire thing is our question again. So which means that this entire thing can be written as y. And then you can easily solve it. So what is it? 1 by 5 plus 1 by y is equal to, you can take 4 right side as y minus 4. And then you can take LCM and you can take the reciprocal. You'll get y by. Now you can cross multiply. Y is equal to y minus 4 into 5y plus 1. So now expand it. 5y square, y minus 20y is minus 19y, and then minus 4. So take everything right side, you got a quadratic equation. So next, we cannot actually factorize this quadratic equation. So let us use the quadratic formula. Y is equal to minus b plus or minus root over b square minus 4 into a into c divided by 2a. 1 or 2 steps, solve it, you'll get the first option. You'll get 2 plus or minus 2 by 5 into root 30. So but we have only 2 plus 2 by 5 into root 30. We do not have 2 minus 2 by 5 root 30. We have only first option. So therefore y is equal to this. But observe one thing. 2 minus 2 by 5 into root 30, if it is negative value, it cannot be our answer. Okay, na? Because LHS is clearly 4 plus 1 by 5 plus 1 by, it is clearly 4 plus extra something. 4 plus something cannot be negative, right? So you are not supposed to take 2 minus 2 by 5 into root 30. Remember this. If it is negative. So check once whether it is positive or negative. 2 minus 2 by 5 into root 30 is approximately how much? 5 point. So 25, 36. It is near to 25. So 5.4. Approximately 5.4. So then 5 ones are 5, 1.08. Clearly it is negative value itself. 2 minus 2 into 1.08. So it cannot be 2 minus 2 by 5 into root 30. So y cannot be equal to 2 minus 2 by 5 into root 30. So the only positive value, the only possible answer is 2 plus 2 by 5 into root 30. So we'll go with the next question. The next question is given in 17th March evening session. And I'm sorry, in the series this is third question. The first, second, now this is third question. The next question is fourth question. The next one is fourth question. Anyhow, I'll erase this. So the next question, if f such that the domain is minus 1 comma 1 closed brackets and the range is, codomain is any real number, be defined as f of x is equal to ax square plus bx plus c. For all the domain where ABCs are real numbers, okay, such that f of minus 1 is equal to 2 and f dash of minus 1 is equal to 1, and for x belongs to minus 1 comma 1. Okay, now, so this is this for x belongs to minus 1 comma 1. Then and at the same time the maximum value of f double dash of x is 1 by 2. Okay, in this domain the maximum value of f double dash of x is 1 by 2. And he also told that if f of x is always less than or equal to alpha, in this domain minus 1 comma 1, then the least value of alpha is how much? First of all, let us split the problem like this. First, let me find the coefficients ABC. By using which clues? By using f of minus 1 is equal to 2, f dash of minus 1 is equal to 1, and the maximum value of f double dash of x is 1 by 2. So you should have the basic idea of differentiation, maxima and minima. Just basic idea is enough to solve this question. So first of all, they told that f of minus 1 is equal to 2. First f of x is equal to f of minus 1 is what? A into minus 1 square plus b into minus 1 plus c. And this is equal to 2 according to the question. F of minus 1 is equal to 2 now. So therefore, a minus b plus c is equal to 2. Remember this equation, the first equation. Next, f dash of minus 1 is equal to 1. Using f of x, first you find its derivative. A into x square derivative is 2x plus b into x derivative is 1 plus constant derivative is 0. And this next f dash of minus 1, right? F dash of minus 1 means what? 2a into x is minus 1 plus b. And they told that f dash of minus 1 is equal to 1. This is equal to 1. So from this we can say that minus 2a plus b equal to 1. The second equation. And after that observe. And the maximum value of f double dash of x is 1 by 2. The double derivative. So first by using f dash of x, you can find f double dash of x. So what is it? 2a as it is into x derivative is 1 plus the constant derivative is 0. Actually f double dash of x is a constant. A constant will not have any minimum values, maximum values like that. The minimum values and maximum values all are same to this constant value itself. Okay now, separately it will not be there, but the minimum value is equal to 2a only. The maximum value of f double dash of x is also 2a only. So therefore, they told the maximum value of this is 1 by 2, which means that 2a is equal to 1 by 2 because it is a constant. If they say minimum value also, you have to take 2a equal to 1 by 2 only. So from this we have got a value as 1 by 4. We have found the coefficient a, which is 1 by 4. Now you can substitute in second equation to get b value. So what is it? Minus 2 into a is 1 by 4 plus b equal to 1. So 2 1s are 2 2s are. So from this b is equal to 1 plus 1 by 2, which is 3 by 2. B is equal to, we have got 3 by 2. So therefore we have got b value. Now using a value and b value, we can find c value by substituting in the first equation. A minus b plus c equal to 2. So where a is 1 by 4 minus b is 3 by 2. So into 2 into 2. So what do you get? Minus 5 by 4 plus c is equal to 2, and therefore c is equal to 2 plus 5 by 4, right? How much do you get 2 plus 5 by 4? 13 by 4. So I got the values of a, b and c. So using these given clues, I have found a, b, c. Therefore now I can write what is the quadratic equation. Okay. So let me erase it. A is 1 by 4. Okay now. So therefore the quadratic equation f of x is 1 by 4 into x square plus b is 3 by 2. 3 by 2x plus c is 13 by 4. I can take 1 by 4 common. Then you will get x square. If I take 1 by 4 common here, this will become 6x. And here 13. The minimum value of f of x is nothing but the minimum value of this x square plus 6x plus 13. And for any quadratic polynomial, the minimum value, it will be minimum value if it is a upward parabola. Clearly, x square coefficient is positive only, na? So this is upward parabola only. So therefore, the minimum, not minimum, I need actually maximum, because they told that f of x is always less than or equal to alpha, right? F of x is always less than or equal to alpha. Okay, first of all, they said that f of x is always less than or equal to a number alpha in this domain. Not always, but in this domain. First, let us find its minimum. Where does it occurs? The minimum, because it is upward parabola, minimum occurs at x is equal to minus b by 2a. That means x is equal to minus b by 2 into a. So minimum value occurs at x is equal to minus 3. Now I can happily draw the graph. So if you draw the graph, of this upward parabola approximately. The graph is like this. This minimum occurs at x is equal to minus 3. The minimum occurs at x is equal to minus 3. So clearly somewhere minus 2 will come, I don't know. This is minus 1, this is 0, and this is plus 1. So can I say that in the interval minus 1 to 1, the graph is continuously increasing? In the interval minus 1 to 1, the graph is continuously increasing. So therefore, can I say that the minimum of f of x occurs at x is equal to minus 1? In the domain x belongs to minus 1 comma 1, the minimum occurs at minus 1 and the maximum occurs at input 1. So therefore, I can say that f of x is always less than or equal to f of 1. So in this domain, f of x is always less than or equal to f of 1, because minimum occurs at f of minus, what is it? The minimum value is f of minus 1 and the maximum value is f of 1. Please observe this. So therefore f of x is always less than or equal to its maximum value f of 1. And can I say that therefore alpha is equal to f of 1? Alpha is nothing but f of 1. Now you can find out what is alpha by substituting x is equal to 1 here. So 1 by 4 into 1 square plus 3 by 2 into 1 plus 13 by 4. So what do you get? 14 by 4, that means 7 by 2 plus 3 by 2, 10 by 2, which is equal to 5. Anyhow, they are asking the least value of alpha, but when alpha is a constant, this is the least value and this is the highest value. So if you want, you can once again go backward and go through the solution once, but this is very easy solution. You should have some basics of the maximum minimum. Okay, so therefore alpha is equal to 5. The least value of alpha or the maximum value of alpha. Alpha is a constant which is equal to 5. It is an integer type question, so the answer is 5. And let us go to the next question, question number 5. Here is a fifth question, and you observe that fifth question and third question are almost one and same only, same models, right? So just like we have solved third question, we can solve this fifth question. And this was given in 18th March morning. So there is an advantage if you go with the previous papers, always. So now if you solve this, so 3 plus 1 by, and before that let us imagine that the entire question is equal to y. The entire thing is equal to y. So which means this is 3 plus 1 by, 4 plus 1 by, and the remaining is again the same question itself. The remaining is again the question itself, right? So which is nothing but y. The entire thing is again question itself, which is y. This is equal to y. Now if you solve it, you'll get it. What is it? Take 3 right side, and this one you can take LCM. So take 3 right side, you'll get y minus 3. And the reciprocal of this thing is what? Y divided by 4y plus 1. Now cross multiply. Y is equal to, if you cross multiply, 4y plus 1 into y minus 3. So right side if you expand, 4y square minus 12y plus y minus 3. Observe that plus 5 and plus 5 will get cancelled on both sides. So you got a quadratic equation which cannot be factorized. So let us use quadratic formula. Minus p plus or minus root over b square minus 4 into a into c divided by 2a. You get your answer. So what is it? Y is equal to 12 plus or minus 144 plus 48. 144 plus 48 is how much? So root 192 divided by 8. So you can prime factorize 192. 296 to 48 to 24 to 12 to 6 to 3. So which is nothing but 8 root 3. So root 192 is 8 root 3. So therefore you will get y is equal to 12 by 8 plus or minus 8 root 3 by 8. And therefore your answer is 1.5 plus or minus root 3. And once again we will not accept the value y is equal to 1.5 minus root 3 because it is negative. You should not accept that value. The LHS is clearly a positive number. So therefore the correct value is y is equal to 1 minus 1.5 plus root 3. So it is the first option. Don't take the negative value 1.5 minus root 3. It is negative value. You should not take it. Okay. So we'll go with the next question. Question number 6. Here is our next question. If f of x and g of x are two polynomials such that the polynomial p of x is f of x cube plus x into g of x cube. P of x is in terms of f of x cube and g of x cube, okay? And p of x is actually divisible by x square plus x plus 1. Observe this thing. Then what is p of 1 they are asking? So first of all, dear students, this is given in 18th March evening session, okay? So first of all, p of x is divisible by x square plus x plus 1. So which means that the roots of x square plus x plus 1 are nothing but the roots of p of x. And we know that the roots of x square plus x plus 1 is omega comma omega square, right? So therefore, the roots of p of x, two roots of p of x are omega comma omega square. Since omega comma omega square are the roots of x square plus x plus 1 equal to 0, they are also roots of p of x. They are also the zeros of p of x. You can say like this. So which means that p of omega is equal to 0, and at the same time p of omega square equal to 0. You can say roots, or you can also call them as zeros. Okay, na? So p of omega is equal to 0, or p of omega square is also 0. So go to this equation. Now substitute. P of omega means what? F of omega cube plus omega into g of omega cube equal to 0. We know that omega cube is equal to 1, right? So f of 1 plus omega into g of 1 is equal to 0. Call this as equation number 1. And similarly, p of omega square, what is it? F of omega square whole cube, that means omega power 6, plus x means omega square into g of omega power 6 equal to s0. If omega cube is 1, then omega power 6 is also 1. So f of 1 plus omega square into g of 1 equal to 0. So let us solve equation 1 and 2 by subtracting. So I'll keep equation 2 below this. So let us subtract. Change the signs here. F of 1 and minus f of 1 gets cancelled. Here and here I can take g of 1 common. Then you'll get omega minus omega square. So therefore g of 1 is equal to, you can take this constant to the right side. 0 by omega minus omega square is also 0 only. Since g of 1 is equal to 0, we can substitute in the first equation. Then what is f of 1? Substitute in the first equation. F of 1 plus omega into g of 1 equal to 0. F of 1 plus omega into g of 1 is 0 only, na? So this will give you f of 1 also 0. So I got f of 1 equal to 0 and g of 1 equal to 0. Then what is p of 1? According to the equation, they are asking p of 1 only. So let us find what is p of 1. P of x is equal to f of x cube plus x into g of x cube. And therefore p of 1 is equal to f of 1 plus 1 into g of 1, which means g of 1. So f of 1 is 0 plus g of 1 is 0, which is equal to 0 over. Therefore the value of p of 1 is equal to 0, integer type. So totally 6 questions were discussed, each question from each paper. So this is about the March shift questions, dear students. So in our next video we will look into the February shift questions of JEE Mains 2021, right? So thank you, and I hope that you have understood these things well. So if you have understood this, then like the video, share it to your friends, subscribe it, and don't forget to comment your feedback in our comment section. Thank you, dear students. We'll continue in next class.